Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Blockboyz Radio. Busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio.
What's up, y'all? We here today.
What up?
Episode 6.
Yes, sir. We here. We here. Blockboyz Radio. Y'all know what's going on. I go by the name of Blockboyz Shuffa, the new voice of the city, and my Armstrong. I'm in the building with my team.
So you, man. Yeah, Armstrong.
My Armstrong. He always want to elbow somebody.
Wait.
Y'all know, nope.
All right,
no,
go
this
ahead.
is my turn.
All right.
If
y'all know, I am the one and the only.
Come on.
Tenia, Denay.
Preach.
Okay, in the building your faith media back.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, hallelujah. So it's your boy DJ Waterzz, Coalition DJs, Hooligan Express Radio, Blockboyz Radio, what else? AO Boutique,
Yes, sir.
people, and all that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The drippy one. That's what you need to drop to say.
Get
The
your towel,
drippy
yeah.
one.
Get a towel, get a mop, some boots, all the galoshes, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
And we have some wonderful guests in here today. If you saw the flyer,
Yes, sir.
pay attention on social media.
Yeah.
Definitely came a long way.
Yeah.
Definitely doing their thing in the city.
Already.
Definitely showing support to each and everyone who else doing their thing in the city.
Most definitely.
Upper echelon wordsmith.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are.
Yeah.
My name is Aneski Anna Kim Set. That is my pseudonym and my stage name. I am co-CEO of 4 Authors, Authentic Urban Publishing.
Okay, how y'all doing? I'm Vic, the CEO. Married to this lady right here. Partner, you know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
marriage.
Partner in business, partner in life. We doing our thing out here. We just had a beautiful play we just did, Annual
Yes,
War,
sir.
and we will probably talk about that today.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Because
talk
the
about
encore is
it.
coming up real soon. Y'all get with us, man. Publishing company, moving business. We just all around entrepreneurs. Man.
Yes, sir. Spread the money.
Let me just say, when you introduced yourself, your voice, it was so angelic. It was
Thank you.
just so, you do a lot of poetry.
She
you know,
does
the
this.
world knows.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You like when she be whispering that sweet stuff in your ear.
That's me.
So that's an
We
absolute.
love to
He
see it.
put that Billy D. Williams voice on it too.
We definitely be people parts in that.
Yeah.
That's how you keep it up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yes, it's beautiful. We are so glad to have you two here today to share
Appreciate
your
it.
knowledge
Yeah.
and spread love to the world and
Definitely,
to the Blockboyz
yes.
radio team.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
And introduce y'all to the world, to
Yeah.
everybody that's tuned in and listening, because like more poets is what's needed out here to calm everybody down.
How
That's
about
right.
Keep all these kids acting, keep them doing something to enrich their mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
With all that. Help these rappers out.
Yeah.
Y'all not talk about nothing.
Yeah.
You feel me? So yeah,
No
get
content, huh?
You
Talk
know
to
what?
'em.
You wanted
some
something.
substance.
Talk to him.
You
That's
wanted
right.
something.
Block
Yes.
troops once again. Let's go.
So you're an author.
Yes.
And you do poetry.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so tell me about how all of that came about. What inspired you to start since you were young, or
Oh yes. Oh man. Poetry with me started at a very, very young age. I remember the first poem I wrote was in first grade,
Okay.
and it was like I still remember that poem, to be honest with you.
If you
As
want
I
to kick
still-
it, look.
Oh, you for real? I'll
Kick
do it.
it.
That's like
Kick it.
that's the
You want
that's
us
set
to
the
snap?
stone. I'm
Kick
definitely
it.
gonna kick. What?
Kick
It's like
it.
Let's
freestyle.
go. It's called Joey Had a Dinosaur.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Joey had a dinosaur. It's real neat. Joey has a dinosaur with 2 big feet. Joey has a dinosaur. He lives in the den. Joey has a dinosaur. His name is Ben. Joe has a dinosaur. He's real hungry. Joey has a dinosaur. He spent all his money. Joey has a dinosaur that lives in the den. Joey had a dinosaur and it ate him.
Oh.
That was a plot twist.
yeah.
I ain't you know what? I didn't expect that.
But see, y'all gotta realize this was a first grader that
Right,
just did
right.
it.
Yeah.
And then now she still remembers that.
Yeah, and I think that's so dope. That's why I don't like when people ignore children, like at a young age, if they're like singing, if they're into music, if they're into their instrument, they say they're playing with toys or things like that, but they never know, you know.
They're developing.
Like they're developing their, you know.
And I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed with you saying that because my mom has always been my first fan. She has always been the one to keep up with my poetry, my writings, my works. I've won awards in schools and for essays and all that. And she was the one that was trying to make sure that it was compiled. And she was the one who always, you know, encouraged me and said, you know, that's what you do. Like, that's your gift. You know, when I was trying to find out who I am, she's like, you're a writer. That's what you do. So it's definitely something to think about when you see your children investing in them, you know, in their talents and their skills. It's important to invest in it with them and support them because you never know, you know, what dream you're supporting. And because of that, my mom's been in front row seat at everything I do, anything. She's probably, if she has figured it out, she's logged on now. Other than that, she'll watch it.
Shout out
like,
to you, Mom.
She's a big support, and you know, it's really brought me a long way. Like I was saying, the first I published my first book, Poison Ivy, and it was originally published in 2016. And so I ended up publishing because I had wrote this book and I had it copyrighted, and it was in the Library of Congress. And so I had different publishers coming to ask, could they publish my book and put it in the market? And what became interesting about it is they wanted me to pay them a large sum of money. And this was not going to take, you know, any work from them. They weren't going to edit my book. They weren't going to do anything. They were just going to print it on paper, put their stamp on it, you know, maintain rights to it, and just, you know, put me out there. So I thought, wow, so much money for me to get so less. You know, the royalties and things that come behind that type of money, it really isn't much. That's why you don't see you know, a lot of artists walking around like with chains and driving dope cars and all that, because, you know, it's one of those type of talents. But at the end of the day, it's like I found out that there was nothing that no one could do for me that I couldn't do for myself. And so I took that initiative and I began to seek out information and educate myself. You know, knowledge is a lot better for the youth these days than when I grew up for card catalog. So it was like looking for a gorilla was like go to G's and look for the O, and then you gotta find an author. I need a non-fiction or fiction. It's like now you get to say, hey Google, you know. So the information was available to me, and so I went from there and published my first book. And then from that, I decided that it was something that I wanted everyone to have the ability to do. I think I believe everyone has a story, and that everyone has a right to tell their story. And I'll often say, you know, if you want, I'll be the one to publish it. So
that's super dope. Now get more into the process of you writing your first book. How did you go back and forth? Like, you know, did you write a little bit and go back a couple weeks later? Like, how was that process?
So it took me 2.5 years to write my first book.
2.5. I know that's right.
So
and you know, she didn't quit. That's what that means.
And time is the virtue.
I'm anal. I'm delicate when it comes to words and writing. And so even now, there's a part 2. This Poison Ivy has been urged on for a sequel by his fans. I've been writing part 2 since 2018. I'm literally 2 chapters away, but I'm so intricate in my writing that I refuse to just flush it out. You know, I want everything to be, you know, to be together, and I want the reader to be able to be so engaged that they never get a chance to put it down. So it took me 2.5 years, and it was, you know, for me, it was about, I had this storyline, and I you know, of course, you go through your writing stuff from school, you know, you need your outline and your character development. And the thing about it with me was the more I wrote, the more alive the characters became. And so the more detailed their life became. So that kind of stretched out the writing for me. So I began to have nights where I literally would sleep and dream of their lives. And then I would have to, you know, put that onto paper. And so, or you know, into the computer. So it took, you know, but it was awesome. Like, I get so many great reviews. If you go on Amazon.com now, you'll see, you know, reviews 5 stars across the board, you know.
I know that's good. That's what's up. It's super dope. Hold your book up to the camera.
Oh, no, y'all say hold your book up, right? It's 4 authors hold books
Oh,
up.
y'all books up.
Yes, this is what's
Trust and believe.
Number one.
So
We have a children's series. I mean, we
whole
run the
book.
gambit of everything over here. We
as he's holding them up, let me see our names. So we have a children's series. So my first book is written under my government name, my birth name, Thomasina Redmond. All other writings after that, outside of that's an urban fiction novel. All other writings outside of that has been written under Aneski Anakin set, which was the birth of me becoming a publisher. You know, me giving back. You know, the number 4 does not represent, you know, the number 4 in its quantity, but for FOR, you know, it's 4 authors. I'm here for you. We're here for you. So Aneski Anakin set was birthed, and from there, I published What Would My Ancestors Do, her poetry book. And then from there, we published the Little Black Sheep series, which is a children's book. And that comes in 2 different forms. You can get them. These are available single copies, or you can get a compilation called ABC's Little Black Sheep or More. So you have ABC's Little Black Sheep, Colors with Little Black Sheep, and Counting with Little Black Sheep. And all of them encourage reading and the basic fundamentals for the basis of knowledge. And it's a fun book to read. You can be 6, 18, 20, and you'll want to read it over and over again. So it's to help induce family reading, help encourage reading, which is something we feel like, you know, needs to come back to the community. And so that's why we're dealing with so many genres, because we don't care who you are, we want you to read. So last year, our number 1 seller for 2021 was actually a erotica. And it was written by a young lady and a young man who go by the publishing name of Lover X Reek. It's called Drowning, Love Stories Told By. And it is a compilation of short stories the author actually was interviewed on Boston with Houston, and the host there actually said that this book should be a household item. So, you know, just to let you know
Shout
again.
out to Lover X Reek. Proud of y'all. Keep moving.
We want everyone to be able to read, because it's just something about reading that can do so much in a person's life outside of just imagination. It helps with therapy. It gives you information. It's just so much there just with words. And we've gotten so caught up with technology and watching, you know, everything so much on TV that, you know, every now and again we forget that 30 minutes, that's all we need. 30 minutes with the book. And, you know, now we're not saying, you know, don't stream this and watch this. By all means, please check out Blockboyz Radio. This we're not going to deny you, but please, if you got any other 30 minutes out your day, read a little something.
Yeah, and read to your children.
Yes. That ties me into my question too, with the time gaps, basically, like with how much time it take you to write a book, a chapter, like. With that, how often do you come across, both of you guys, how often do you come across like writer's block, this creative block, and then when you come across it, what do you do? Because I'm asking for a friend, me too. So I'm trying to see, like, I want to know what do you do to come up like over it, like get over writer's block.
On my part, we actually working on the edits for my book, my first book that we're gonna put out.
What's the name of it? You got the title already?
Yes, I do. Okay. I have the everything. It's called White Collar Money Grows on Trees.
Okay. Right.
At first I said I wasn't gonna do any type of hood books. I said I wasn't. I had started working on an espionage book. Right. I started writing a book on dealing with vampires. I want to do it from another aspect. So I'm still continuing those books. I'm a little angel. Like my espionage book, part of it takes place in South America. So in Ecuador, a big large part of it takes place in Ecuador. I went and studied the topography of Ecuador. I went and found out the airports, the legal and illegal ones, the strips made, their biggest imports and exports, because I refuse to not be accurate with what I'm writing. Now my other book, White Collar, that largely takes place in Baltimore, parts in DC. I already know my city. You can't tell me nothing about my city. So I don't need to do no research on any of that. And I dealing with real life situations, whereas of course it's a fictional story, but it's coming from the dynamics of our city and what's going on. And I wanted to tell this story because like I said, first I wasn't gonna do any hood books. I want to do this because I could push it out. Truth be told, it's easy to push out a hood book and get that pushed out. To be truthful, and my whole thing was about putting money in the pockets of my family, worrying about my children, worrying about their mothers. This is my concerns. So with this book though, I didn't want to do another drugstore. Because if you sit there and look out there, they'll sit there and swear that all we do is sell drugs, rob, and kill each other. Right. Now, don't get me wrong, some of that stuff takes place in my book, but the focus is about getting on the white collar crime. Because people don't understand that stuff goes on in our community too, and it's not to glorify it. Right. But if you notice, you sell drugs, you get 7 years. You get caught embezzling $1 million, and you get 6 months and a year probation in the camp.
That's true.
So what they've been doing is they've been showing us in society that first of all, they treat us like we savages. Right. And then they showing you the difference between you and your intelligence to commit a crime as opposed to what they consider to be savagery. Right. So now they always address things to us that could keep us incarcerated more. That's a whole nother story we had to get into. Start talking about that. Yeah, because for real, like if pay attention to what's going on out here, right? Many people, if you talk to them about their history class, they've learned that the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. But if you were to read the 13th Amendment, you would see that it just transferred into the prison systems.
Welcome to Block Church.
I mean, real talk. Because verbatim it says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States or its territories, except for the punishment of a crime when one has been duly convicted.
Preach.
And there's a reason why we make over 50% of the prison population, because we were the ones they transferred from the plantation to the prison.
Yes, sir.
So it's a reason why we're over-policed, why we're over-incarcerated, why you can watch, and I've seen this happen. A buddy of mine, brown-skinned brother, and another buddy of mine, Euro, or pale-face, they had almost the same record, the identical charges.
More time.
One got 5 suspended but 2 years and some probation, the other one got 7-8 years. What's the difference?
Yes, sir. Y'all know what's going on, man.
Man, look, real quick. We getting hot in here. Y'all see 4 hours ain't playing.
We took it to Block Church.
They ain't come to play for real.
We took it to Block Church. Y'all know what's going on. Make sure y'all download that app in all app stores. Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, the Coyoteman Show Network.
Right back, so.
And Hooligan Express.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing education and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the Coyoteman Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio, busting through them airwaves. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio.
On the Coyoteman Show Network and Hooligan Express Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to Blockboyz Radio. Y'all know if it's not hot on the block, it's not hot at all.
Already.
Y'all know what's going on. Make sure y'all download the app. All app stores, Google Play Store, Apple Store. Come on, man. Don't forget, man. And we also here, Hooligan Express Radio, Coyoteman Show Network, Coalition DJs, what's up?
Already know.
Yeah, sir. We still in here with 4 artists.
Look, it was hot. It was hot, y'all. They in here spitting, you know what I'm saying? So much business.
They took y'all
you know
back to Block Church.
Yes, they did. Just giving us jewels and gems, and Vic was getting into it for me with the commercial break.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask about. I'm sorry.
No. Look, I was getting ready. Look, perfect transition.
Sorry, I wanted to ask about the 4 authors.
Yes. In reference to the name.
And not reference to the name. How did it come about?
Sure.
How has it been? The journey is what we're speaking of.
Oh man, yes, definitely a journey because we have involved into so much. It initially started 4 authors. My very first book release for Poison Ivy, I wanted to do, and as I looking at the cost of things, the expense of it was a bit much. So I invited my sister in love, Muslima Walker. She's also an author. She had a book coming out as well. And so we were collabing, and we wanted to make it real classy. So we had 2 other authors come about. So when we went to go take care of the business, they said, well, you guys have to be an organization, you know. So it says, so what's your organization name? And so we're sitting there, and she, you know, me, at the split of time, still 4 authors, you know. Of course, why not? But that day, I left. See, I don't take nothing for granted. So when it came out, and I went home with it, and I thought about it, and it kind of resonated. Like, that's really what I wanted to be anyway. That's what made me initially open up the doors to other people, is because I'm for them. Like, this is for all of us. This isn't something that I feel as though it's just for me. I'm not trying to make a monopoly here. Right. This is something I want us to see rise together. So that's really initially how it has grown. And as the journey came along, we've been able to expand beyond publishing to doing events, different vendor experiences is what I like to call them, because the basis of them is because we didn't have a storefront to sell our books. Right. And instead of always paying to pop up at someone else's venue, I started just doing my own, calling them vendor experiences, and I would incorporate the arts, because one thing about publishing, when you come with dealing with words, you tend to collaborate with other arts. It's hard to think of poetry and not have music. Right. It's hard to think of, to have music and not think of art or dance. Yep. So these, other arts seem to come and incorporate themselves in these vendor experiences, and through that, we've been able to build a strong network and business support to others like us who are, on the rise together. And one of the biggest things we try to do as a company is support other companies, support other businesses. So we promote other businesses for free. You send us flyers, we're sending them out. Of course, we try our best to maintain integrity. We try to deal with those who maintain the same type of integrity, because I feel like that's one of the ways to lock out the negativity. And so that's where we've grown. We've grown from a publishing company to just like a network base for so much more, and in the midst still maintaining the opportunity to publish works for others. So
love it. Love
it. It goes to a higher extent than people really even understand. Like, to the point where when people come to us to get published, we always tell them, we'll show you how to do this yourself.
See?
We'll show you how to do this yourself. The thing is, the work and the intricacy of it, man, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna be like, nah, here, take it back. But that's fine. But we're not trying to hinder you from doing what we do. Right. That's never that's never our objection at the time. We always working them. At all. Even with our shows, what we do with our shows, we try to make sure. Every show we've been in, every artist that's performed with us, every poet that was in our play will tell you, they come up there and they rock with us, they sell tickets, they get paid. Everybody gets their money. We're not trying to keep everything to ourselves. We're not putting limitations on what you can do. And I keep trying to tell artists that all the time. Any big names out there, Jeezy, Moneybag, any of them, they make that money because when you put their name on a flyer, they sell tickets. Right. So don't think that on this level, you ain't got to sell tickets too. Right. Start practicing now.
Practicing now. Start investing in yourself now. I love to go to open mics and see young rappers and hip-hop artists coming up, but I always find it interesting when they just want to show up, do a song, and then leave. Right. Yeah. it behooves me. That's the terms that's being used today.
Welcome to Block Church.
And you know, how could you come and just, you know, and then where do you expect to go with that talent? Is this something that just, because that's not how you're going to get paid. You don't not going to get
people
paid.
Gotta understand, man, and it's a common term that's used in the field of business. Your network determines your net worth. So the whole time, if you're not moving right, you come and before and got your little handful of supporters. And then you leave instead of attracting the other supporters and giving your supporters to the other supporters. Get to meet people, know people. And that's been one of the things that's been hard with artistry and stuff in Baltimore for years anyway. People have this mentality that they think we have this crab and barrel effect. And too many times we prove that to be true. So we gotta understand, man, you eating shouldn't stop me from eating. So why would I interfere with you? Man, we still had this post on our page, man. A sister named EJ, love it dearly.
Shout out the Civil Wrongs.
Oh yeah, already. How you doing, EJ? So we were doing an event with Henny the Stone, youth event at Drew Hill Park, trying to bring down youth vendors and support the youth and bring young people out. And this was going on all last summer. So mind you, it was one day we were doing a back to school giveaway, giving away book bags, supplies. What messed me up, right, was how many people said, well, what we got to get you? You need our social, you need a phone number? We're like, nah, come get this stuff. And they was like, well, I got 2 children, I got 3 grandchildren. We'll get 5 supplies, you know? And they didn't understand, and it would mess me up that people just expected you to have some bull with you. Said, no, we giving away. So we're not asking you what you need. If you try to fugazi us, that's on you. Because this is here to be given away anyway. So at this time, it was a picture posted. EJ posted it on her page and sent it to us, where she's sitting in the chair in her phone working on a flyer probably, or putting something together because she does everything. And then I'm standing next to her on my phone working on work, and she put on there, and the caption said, if support with 2 people. We do our very best to support everybody in our circle.
Yeah, y'all do.
Matter of fact, Shuffa hosted our play, I Am Woke. And we love the environment, man. We had Shuffa there hosting. DJ Clutch was our sound engineer. Chubby 2X was our DJ. Our poets, amazing people. That's really Marco. Check them out. Gio, Jasmine, The Problem. Our Love the brother Hansbro, John Hansbro, who also has a podcast, Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. Ashley, Mosa, we watched them come out of their shells. Our children were involved in our play. I had the blessing that we did our play on my grandmother's birthday.
That's a blessing.
So we were able to have a whole room sing happy birthday to my grandmother, man. And mind you, this is the first play that we directed and produced. And mind you, there was not a person in who didn't say we didn't need to do it again, or they had somebody to bring in to see it. And he blessed us, man, for coming in there and doing that. But it was a beautiful thing. The environment was lovely. You could bring your grandmother, your grandchildren.
Can I segue with that real quick, Shuffa? When I tell you, when the first time you had the audience say, I am woke, when it first started, right? It was like, I am woke. Okay, yeah, I am woke. I am woke. At the end, when you had them run it back, oh my gosh, the energy in that building. It shifted. It was like so, and when you had them do the 3rd time.
Come on, man.
Oh my gosh. We raised the roof. Everyone
was definitely.
It was a dope play though, so it gave me something to feed off of because it was so dope. You feel me? Like I ain't coming to y'all auditions, so I didn't know what to expect from the play. I ain't know where it was going because I ain't coming to none of the auditions. But after I watched it, like if you seen, I kept leaving behind the curtain that I got off stage to watch it. So after I watched it, I'm like, it's really a dope play. You feel me? And it had meaning. So I was like, man, if they don't feel this,
you just dead inside for real. Mind you, our play, we did a play set to poetry. And my wife largely did all the dialogue and was able to craft this in a way that, mind you, our poets, these were their own plays. They all had contributions, or their own poems. They all had contributions. It was probably about 2 or 3, one being one of mine, that were written new for the play. And the dialogue went through and told the whole story. And it was so, let me tell you how much this is meant to be. Our co-director, Shamish Jacobs, she also had host Vibes and Verses. My wife co-hosts that with her, C Rose, and shout out to C Rose.
Shout out to C Rose.
And she has a poem that talks about a little chick named Lil Mama. And it's that little girl who's a little ignorant, went and taught right in school. Come to the play, y'all can hear the whole thing and then what's going on.
Come to the
I have a poem that had a Lil Mama in it. And the part that talks about the little mama in my poem fits so well with hers.
Right.
And everything ran together so well, man. It's like we had one brother that actually said that it hit him so hard that he had to get up and walk out.
Yeah.
Because it hit too close to home. Man, my mother and my sister told me that I made a couple parts too real for him. I'm gonna say like this, and this is with no exaggeration, not just because I'm promoting us, because of course I'm gonna promote self, but facts. There was not a person in our cast who wasn't somebody in that audience's favorite.
Wow.
Everybody was someone's favorite.
And that's real.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Everybody was in there. I'm talking about even, and it's not a whole bunch. We had a little bit of profanity in the poems to get for tasteful value. None in the dialogue. But the point is, we had elder women in there. People who are elders in their churches. My grandmother turned 86 who weren't offended because they understood the significance of what was going on. In fact, to the point my grandmother asked me, don't y'all got tickets for like guests or something? Because she would come to the encore.
Bring her own girl.
Look, I said, what you mean, free?
Hey, Beatrice, come on back.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
That's real, but that's good.
Yeah, that's super dope. With that being said, will there be more? When's the next one?
Yeah,
You got a
definitely
date?
So, August the 17th.
Oh, that's 2 days before my birthday, yo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going.
You a Leo too?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Leo.
August
August
Leo,
eighth.
all
Blockboyz
Leos,
Radio
all this
team.
fire. That's why I saw all this fire in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So, August 17th, we will be having an encore at 1101 Fillmore Street. That's at Orion at Fillmore. The doors will open at 6 p.m. We start on time, guys. There's no such thing. Time has no color. We start on time. And so with that being said, if you've seen the first one, we got something new for you. We have actually added a new poet and a new poem. So we got something for those who've never seen it before, and we got something for those who've seen it, before as well. And it's definitely going to be a big. I feel like it's gonna be part 1 all over again, but
plus we're doing it like a dinner theater. So yes, we all have sections for you. We have sections, balcony seats.
Don't give out too much. Don't give out too much.
Oh, they need to know they're gonna get a good meal. We got a certified chef.
Tickets available on Eventbrite. You could go on Eventbrite, search I Am Woke. We definitely are selling sections and all that right now. Matter of fact, we're in the middle of an early bird special, so check it out.
Get them tickets. Get them tickets. But I'm going to throw in there Blockboyz Radio. We're going to come there. We're going to do live interviews as well. We're going to set up live interviews right there.
That's what's up.
Supported by Coyote Network and Hooligan Express. Be in there. But we're going to get y'all involved in our topic today, too.
Yeah, real. I mean, I don't know how much time we got for the dog. I mean, it was a Full Authors Day. Yeah.
Full Authors Takeover.
Oh, man. I ain't mad.
We gonna call it Full Authors Takeover.
Yeah, that's all good. But no, we got a little time.
If y'all want any information on our services, just DM us on Instagram. We have a list of services. We'll get it to you.
Yeah, give me the Instagram real quick. Give me the information.
The Instagram is the number 4_authors. That's the number _AUTHORS.
Amen. So boy, hit them up. Get that information and pull up to that play, yo. I'm gonna be there eating food.
Yes, we're excited. We cannot wait to come, show some love, eat some food, snap.
Be in there.
Cry a little bit. Laugh, probably do it all.
It was a lot of wet eyes in there. It was a lot of wet eyes.
Y'all gonna get me. I already know y'all gonna get me. Sorry. Lord knows my Twitch.
Alrighty. So let's get into the topic.
Talk about Miss Gray.
Yes. So when was this? A couple weeks ago. Macy Gray.
Macy Gray.
Y'all know that's the soul singer.
Made a comment on an interview that she had, stating that just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman. And she is addressing the trans community.
Yeah.
So tonight's topic, we're trying to tap in. For those who may have missed the clip, here is the clip right now.
Well, just women go through just a completely unique experience, and surgery or finding yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman.
And she also went on to say, something else. She had another part to add. If she didn't, ruffle some feathers with that part, she also went on to just apologize to the community.
Just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact.
Just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman. Because, there are things in the works that are like they are trying to create babies now. Not create, but allow
them to
trans
have some type of
communities
way.
to have babies and, things like that. So she's like, well, you naturally cannot have a baby just because they go place a part on you. It's just, yeah.
And I just want to slip this in real quick. Cause it's real quick.
It's
right?
real touchy.
and I'm not going to offend anybody when I say this, I'm sure.
Good.
But
I don't want
I don't want to offend nobody. I love everybody. I love transgender people. I love y'all. Shout out to y'all. But I just feel like it's kind of disrespectful to the actual like woman, because it's like being a transgender person, whether you are a transgender male or transgender woman, you're taking the beautiful parts or the cosmetic parts of that sex, and you're using that. You're not taking the pain from the period they got to go through. You're not taking the pains from the random little, the osteoporosis, all that little. They go through a whole lot of different stuff. The random discharge you got. They deal with a whole lot of stuff for real, and y'all not taking that. It's like y'all don't want to take that. I feel like if y'all could take it, y'all wouldn't. If it was like a package to say, or give me all the outer beautiful parts of a woman, you'll take that versus this package that say, give me the whole woman, like everything that actual, like take everything out of me and give me all that. Like I
mean, there are surrogates, there are.
Yeah, but it's like, I'd rather you admit to that. Admit that you just like the femininity of a woman. You like looking like a woman, but don't say I identify as. Just like yo.
And the crazy part is, I heard two trans say, like, my wife was watching the Bad Boys casting thing.
Yeah, my friends be watching.
And there was a trans that came on there, and they asked him, what do he identify?
I seen that, yep.
He said, a man.
I'm a boy.
And then Ray, somebody actually commented and said that they still put down that they're a man too, because they feel like it's offending their
Spice. There's a comedian named Spice.
Offending their
his mother and sister.
So
and don't get confused about the pregnancy thing. They trying to confuse us. Ain't no man getting pregnant.
Yeah. Right.
It's just
we can't handle that.
It's just
do you want to get pregnant?
Hell no.
It's
just
bro.
They switch. I'm telling you, sometimes somebody can say something a way that it will even confuse you. Like it ain't happening.
It's not gonna happen.
Like it ain't happening.
Well, I'm gonna say this, right? This my wife, right? But and I'm in a household that has 4 women in there.
Amen. Right.
That's 4 periods. That's cases of pads I buy. Phone calls while I'm working. Dad, I need some pads. Dad, I need some pads. Dad, I need some pads. I figured that out, right? I tell them all the time, I'm thankful I don't go through what y'all go through. Right. I don't want to go through that. Now, I remember watching, I think it was when, what's her name? Ricky Lake came back with a talk show at one point in time. And there was an episode that said, the world's first pregnant man. And I'm like, what the hell? So I watched the episode, and what it was a man living as a transgender woman, and a woman living as a transgender male, and they married. So now I'm confused, because first of all, I don't care what you do. That's your business. I personally don't care. You know what I'm saying? If you're not opposing me or trying to oppress me with what you doing, that's your business. Do you? Just don't bother. Don't try to make me nothing. Just like I can't make you nothing, don't make me nothing.
Exactly.
So I'm sitting there like, so first of all, I got confused. I'm like, so are they still, will they be gay? Because he's a woman for real and she's a man for real. So and they together. So the one that was pregnant was the one that's the transgender male that was born a woman naturally, has ovaries and got pregnant by. So the whole time it's like, let's be real. I don't care what you do. Live your life. That's your business. It's not my job to tell you how to move.
Yeah.
But I can't have a child with you.
At all.
You feel me?
How much
I want to have a child with my woman. I want my woman to be able to carry my seed.
Right.
That can't happen.
At all.
So I don't have no problem with what you want to do. That's just not for me. I ain't doing it.
Fact.
That's your business.
Fact.
You can't do what she can do.
That
easily.
You cannot do
By
what she
mistake.
can do. Just like on the other side, if you decide,
Vice
beautiful
versa.
sister, you decide that you wanted to be Billy, and you went got some meat from your
Tenia.
leg or whatever you wanted
Tenia
to do, and created you a slab, whatever medical procedure they do. You still, and let's say she cheated with you, give you a you're not gonna get her pregnant. I'ma laugh. You ain't take my woman. You can't have a child with her. I don't care. You cannot do that. Cause I got confused when you for a second when you said they trying to let them have babies.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you talking about adoption, right? Because
They
Yeah.
confusing people, and you know that credit is cleared.
Yeah.
right.
So if you switch over, they're so interested in population control. I'm supposed to say that, but they're so interested in
Say it.
population control. It don't have nothing to do
Welcome to
about.
Black Church.
That's right.
It don't have nothing to do with whether you like homosexuals or
That's
you don't
right.
like homosexuals.
Right.
That's the game they tell us in the homosexuals.
You know you can't
This is
reproduce.
about population control.
That's right.
All
It
day.
has nothing
That's
to
right.
do with that.
All
The
day.
abortion thing about
That's right.
population
That's
control.
right.
No
They don't care
reproduction. Slow
nothing
it down.
about
They
it.
don't.
You know? Period.
Nothing.
I
Listen.
think that we don't care what people have going on. Like you say, identify as what you want. People call you what you want. But however, I do strongly believe that they should leave these children out of it.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
How about this?
Yes.
How about this, right?
They turn the cartoons into it's just
Yeah.
Everything, yo.
Like you can't. You pushing people to do something that so now a child is confused. Am I supposed to be like that?
yeah.
Nah, you be who you
My
are.
Nickelodeon was not this Nickelodeon.
It
yo.
wasn't.
I
Yeah.
swear on everything.
No, sir.
What happened?
Then when I seen the Olympics, right, and they said she won again, and I seen it was
Leah?
first of all, I don't think that's fair.
It was not
Now,
fair at
now,
all.
okay, you living as a woman, that's cool, that's your business.
He looked like, she looked like
But
me
for
out
you
there.
to be able to
With a
compete
wig.
with another woman, that's not fair. You have an advantage. I don't care how much
Yeah.
estrogen you take, you have an advantage. I'm not against nobody. Long as you ain't offending and hurting people, I ain't against
Right.
nobody.
Wow.
But you telling me this woman will never get first place because you got to run with her now. So she will never get first place because you can't beat them.
And she competed with girls her whole life.
UFC, they be getting
now.
killed.
Right.
Up until now.
Like, I mean, something,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing to me about this is we always talk women equality. So
Right.
now here you go, you got another situation where men are trying to take away from women. What's up with that part? What's up with that part?
Did y'all see the new Netflix series? Now I done watched 2 of them, right? Both of them, the youth are already that way, right? Now you do what you want to do, but now you are imposing this
Yes.
that the children's supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
Not only is the youth this way, the youth are cussing their parents out. So if you watch all the new shows, the youth are cussing their parents out, and all the youth is that. What are you trying to do?
How about that?
It's about influence, and that's one of the reasons why we, as a culture, need to be our own biggest influence. I like one of the main reasons why I like supporting local, artists or whomever is because I believe that the role models our children need to be closer to them. They need to be able to relate to people that they can see and speak with and touch and have, casual conversations with. And that's how you begin to make sure their mind is shaped in the right direction. When you allow them to, it's the World Wide Web. It is open to so much. When you allow them to pick their role models from these spaces, and they are going to pick one because it's human nature to emulate, what you want to be. So, we cannot complain but so much when these are the influence. When you are speaking about what's going on in Nickelodeon and what's going on in these, that's because they're controlled by the masses. Why isn't everyone watching the Coyoteman Show Network? Why isn't everyone, picking up on the local, our black-owned businesses that have TV shows? There are much other podcasts, much other networks out there. So this is what happens when we're allowing them to be exposed to so much.
White sugar tastes better than brown sugar to
Welcome
us.
to
See,
Black
Right.
Church.
Ice.
Brown sugar
How about that?
White ice. And see, the thing is, as long as they're able to control our narrative, as long as Somebody is able to control our thoughts. They decide when you make it. They decide when you become a rapper. They decide when your life excels.
Right.
So unless we actually unify together, we got separated from a whole bunch of foolishness, separated from religion, separated from what block we on and everything. But the police don't stop you. He don't be like, oh, are you a Muslim? Are you a Christian?
They don't care about none of that.
They don't care about none of that. But we do. So that's like the foolishness. If we all unify and say, listen, I'm gonna get behind this. I'm gonna get behind this. I'm gonna get behind my own narrative. And somebody is not vaccinating you without your permission. Somebody is not telling your children what you want to do with your children is fine. But our children, we might not want our children exposed to that. You mean to tell me my child can't smoke a cigarette until a certain age, my child, but you telling me my child can make a decision to get something cut off of his body?
That's right.
He can make a child, hey, you start talking like that, we might come and kill you.
That's right.
Coyote, man, let me tell you something so real about that, right? It's this TV show I was watching on TBS Comedy, right? And they had an episode where the guy was marrying this young girl in Virginia, and by law you could, right? So his wife had another show, a political satire show, and she was talking about an interview with this young girl who was about 16, 17 years old. Now, this would fuck me up. In the United States, the age of consent for marriage is like 12, 13 years old. The only one state raised the age limit, and that was to 17 in New York. Now, you got to have the parents' permission. And I found out, I was like, are you serious? So we talk about all this pedophilia and violence, and, you know, talk about all these other countries do well. But if a parent says, oh, that man 25 got my 13-year-old pregnant, he better take care of him and sign them papers, he don't go to jail. He can legally marry this child.
Well, what about what they doing with the Napster? With the boy, young male and boy love, they're trying to actually put that in and pass pedophilia. Now the thing that you're actually talking about, because they know in ancient time, we train our children wrong. See, your daughter is not even a child when she has her period. You supposed to be when your boy. The reason why we have so much molestation and stuff like this. Any man knows this because we done been through some stuff. Right. When your boy go through puberty, I'll put it like that, right? You need to snatch him away from his sisters, cousins, whatever. That's my sister. We ain't trying to hear that. Snatch him because of the fact that we know he got something in him that a man halfway can understand, more or less than a little boy that just came into manhood, because we take it that he's still a little boy. But the universe, the world, and God don't look at him as a little boy. If he was in another country, they'd put a rifle in his hand.
That's right.
So we got to understand that your little girl is a young lady.
That's right.
But that's how we raised our children historically. At a certain point in time, once children started going through puberty, they had to go through a rites of passage.
That's right.
They had to start taking on adult responsibility.
People still do it.
You know what I'm saying? Young ladies had to be taken away and learn the ways of becoming a woman.
That's right.
These are things that we were taught, and we have things, he's right. We have a lot of things misunderstood, and because we culturally raise our children a certain way and now have been told to do different because we are embracing a culture that is not ours. The facts of the matter, in Europe, they used to have a law called norma conte. And norma conte meant that, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, that when you got married, anyone from the king to the lowest soldier could consummate with your wife first. That's where they started coming up with this one man, one woman stuff. Because we were polygamous. We had multiple wives. And I had Christians tell me, oh, not my religion don't say that. What do you mean? Solomon had 300 wives and 700 concubines. Abraham was actually told, take a handsmaid and go into her. Every prophet you follow in that Bible had multiple wives. So who told you it was wrong?
The Caucasian.
Episode 6, we definitely took y'all to Block Church. And if y'all want more, y'all have to, and y'all missed this show, y'all have to go back to YouTube on the Coyoteman Show Network YouTube or the Blockboyz Radio YouTube, and y'all have to comment and engage in this topic because it definitely was an episode. Block Church definitely took a stand today.
Don't be sitting there looking at the screen, shaking your head. It don't share. If you agree, you would be like, they spitting the day.
Yes, sir. For authors, can you go ahead and tell them how they can follow you?
Follow us on Instagram at 4 authors. That's the number 4 _AUTHORS.
That's right.
Yes, we also have a moving company. We also do shows. Holla as you need to get moved in state, out of state, local. We do all that.
They busy.
We got you.
DJ Waterzz.
Oh, we in the Hoarder homes now too. Sorry.
Amen. Shout out to them, y'all. So they busy, y'all. Active. That's what I like. Active. DJ Waterzz at DJ WATERZZ on Instagram. Everywhere else too. Follow me, y'all. Please.
And I am Tenia Denay on Instagram only.
Yes, sir. You can follow me at Blockboyz with a Z _Shuffa on all social media. And listen, each and every Tuesday we right here, Coyoteman Show Network. Make sure y'all download that. And every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we on Hooligan Express Radio. It's Blockboy Radio. Remember, if it's not hot on the block, it's not hot at all. You heard?
Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio. Blockboyz Radio. Busting through them airways. Now rocking with Blockboyz Radio.
On the Coyoteman Show Network.